Hi, welcome back to the workshop. Today we are looking at the Hornby Class 755s, also known as the FLIRTs. Now, Mike, these look fantastic. We've also got a 4-car set and a 3-car set in front of us, and these are new from Hornby.
They are, yes. So this is a brand new train that's coming from Hornby, one of the latest types of trains that's entered service on the Great Eastern region with Greater Anglia. And they're the Stadler FLIRT units, which are a modular train which allows it to have different components put together to make different lengths of trains, different power types. Very clever design from a Stadler.
See, this sounds to me like a quad art set.
It is a little bit, but it's a very modern quad art.
It's a very modern quad art set.
So they're articulated very much like the quad arts. They're also articulated like some of the Gresley coaches we used to see around the Eastern region as well. And they're very clever trains. So these units that are in front of us here, these are the bi-mode ones, which can work from 25 kV AC overhead supply, or they've got a onboard diesel generator unit on them. And depending on whether they're a 3-car or a 4-car unit, it depends on how many engines they've got on them and how many exhausts are on top of the power units.
Wow, it sounds complicated.
It is, yes.
But at the same time, when you look at the detail, like for example, I'm assuming this is the power car here.
It is, yes, yeah.
When you have a look at the detail, not just on the sides, but on the top of that, on both the 3-car and the 4-car set over here, plus you look at your lead and your rear units, you look at all the detail inside you. Of course, you've got lighting in there, the table detail, the chairs, the artwork. This is a very, very well decorated model.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is Hornby's absolute best. This is real top quality tooling from Hornby. I think the decoration, like you just touched on as well, is absolutely fantastic. I think they're a stunning job of actually replicating these units, and they're really feature laden as well. Like you said about the lighting, it's not just they've got interior lighting; they've got controllable interior lighting. They've got directional lights, they've got illuminated destination blinds, they've got switchable door opening lights, they've got switchable cab lights. They really put a lot into these. I think the only negative out of all the positives is that these are fully DCC compatible as well, so you can put chips in to operate them. But to get the full suite of everything working from the FLIRT, you do need 3 decoders for it.
3 decoders?
So you need 2 as standard to operate the 2 driving cars. And you can have those with the Hornby TXS sounders to have all the electric sounds. But if you really want to go the full shebang with these, then you can put a 3rd sound chip into the power unit car, so you can have all the diesel sounds that can play from that as well. Wow. That is an optional 3rd. You don't need that to operate the train, but you do need the 2 decoders to actually drive and run the train, because there's motors at each end.
I see. Fair enough. Well, I mean, obviously that does complicate it a little bit, but you take that aside, and they are very, very attractive models. And as you say, I mean, the features that you can obviously do with DCC now, and the lighting, and also the sound profile, which I'm assuming comes with this as well. A model rail is becoming so 4D immersive now.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I think that's one of the things I really like about these, is it is that full experience with these units. You can obviously take it out of the box. It's lovely to look at. It runs beautifully. All the motors are really nicely hidden. You've then got the option to have all the lighting functions. You've then got the option to have all the sound functions. I mean, obviously, you don't have to have a sound chip. You don't have to go for high-end sound decoders to make all this work. I mean, for example, the one we've got running here today with decoders in, that's got a pair of Dapple Imperium 21-pin chips in it. They were more closest to hand to operate. It meant we tested it something different on the Hornby decoders as well. And that means you can then make it more manageable for cost. You take your choices, like ultimately, if I had one of these, I'd like to go down the full route with 3 sound decoders, but maybe I'd do it in 2 stages. Maybe I get the 2 to do the outer end, then add the 3rd one later. So it gives you those choices to go for as well.
Absolutely. Now, as far as livery varieties, decorations and costs are concerned, what is going to be available from Hornby?
Okay, so there's 4 units that come out in the initial production run. So there's 2 versions of the 755/3, which is the 3-car unit, and there's 2 versions of the 755/4, which is the 4-car version. They're all in the same Greater Anglia livery, because the 755s are unique to Greater Anglia, but they've got different running numbers in each of those sets and different carriage numbers to make up each set as well. And then there's also a 5th version, which is due to come out during 2025, which is the Pride version of the Greater Anglia 755 as well.
Fantastic. I mean, having some choices there with this is definitely wonderful, especially for modern image modelers.
Yes, absolutely. And I think there's some future opportunities as well. I mean, we did see early on in the development of the 755s that they have been doing the research at least and tooling work for the 756s, which is the Transport for Wales versions. No idea when they're actually going to be part of the Hornby range, but there is an option there, because that's where these units are also being operated as well.
Fantastic. And as far as the way that they perform, what's actually driving them?
Okay, so they've got 5-pole motors in them, which are in each of the outer driving cars, and they are very neatly buried inside the front end where there's a nice closed panel. They're actually right down inside the chassis. You can't actually see the motor from the outside unless you really look. If you do really look, you can see it, but it's a blue part of the unframe moulding. Very neatly concealed mechanism. And another really handy thing, which is great for all those putting DCC as well, is to get access to decoder. All you've got to do is take the roof module off, and then you've got access to your decoder socket inside the units as well.
Which is really good. We've actually seen a lot of other manufacturers go down that particular path as well.
Yeah, that's right. And they're magnetic as well, so it makes them nice and easy to refit as well. You can't put them on the wrong way around. Real simple way to get in to put decoders in them too. So that makes everything much easier. They've got pre-fitted speakers in them. Like I say, this is a really feature-rich unit.
Absolutely. And the other thing I like just in the last part here about the quality of the model is the close coupling.
Yes, well, close coupling was going to be essential on these because they've got the articulator bogies. Again, I think Hornby's been quite clever about its design. You do have to be careful when you're taking them apart and joining them together because some of the bogies are permanently fitted to coaches. So, for example, on the 755-4 unit, the two pairs of passenger coaches are permanently coupled with wires between them, and the actual engine section is detachable. So if you pull the wrong thing apart in the wrong way, you're going to damage some wires. So do take note of the instruction in the box of each of these. Similarly with the 7553, you've got one coach on its own, then you've got the power pack, and you've got the two coaches which are permanently joined. And it is a case of being really careful about actually double checking, am I unplugging the right coach from the right coach before you do it? Because if you do it wrong, which I did do, then it does feel not very nice. So, voice of experience here.
So there's some wonderful, rich features to these models. But I suppose importantly, Mike, when are they available and how much are they selling for?
Right, so they're actually in stock now with Hornby's retailer network. They've certainly been popular since their arrival. And the prices are $399.99 for the 3-car 7553s, and it's £449.99 for the 4-car 754 units.
Wonderful. Well, if you are a fan of the FLIRTs, if you model anything modern image or just the Eastern region, then perhaps one of these 3-car or 4-car sets could very well be for you. And you can read a full review of these models in HM216, a June 2025 edition of Hornby magazine.
That's right. We've also got a full reality check class history explaining the story about the 755s in the very same issue. And you can read all that and much more about the 755s online at keymodelworld.com. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.